So as a home cook, one of those staples to learn how to make is rice. And we're just going to cover white rice today. Really simple process. This is something that you're going to want to work on, right? So depending on the heat of your stovetop, your pans, all this stuff will have small nuances to how much water and rice that you use. So one thing to really focus on is practicing it. The more you make rice, just keep a little bit of a record of how it worked out before, what you think you didn't do, how, maybe it was too hot in the beginning, and maybe it wasn't hot enough when you were making the rice. Make a few notes, and before you know it, you'll just have it down. You'll use the exact same amount of water, the exact same amount of rice, and you'll get perfect rice every time. Just rice can be different from different manufacturers, so once you get this down, it'll be really simple. So to start off, to give you a base to where to go from there, we're just going to do a simple rice. So rice ratio, a white rice typical ratio is 2 to 1. So if I'm going to cook 1 cup of rice, which I think is usually like 4 servings, you're going to use 2 cups of water. 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. If I was doing 2 cups of rice, I would do 4 cups of water. And that's the simple math. All right, so what we want to do is first take the dry rice, and we're going to measure it in a dry measure, okay? So you measure the dry ingredient in a measuring cup. And you want to get as close as you can to 1 cup. Does it have to be exact? No. But you definitely want it close. All right, so here's 1 cup of rice. Go ahead, throw it in your pan. Now, rice can be dirty and there can be some stuff in there. But the other thing to think about is that starch that's on that rice. We want to remove as much as possible. What is this going to give us? It's going to give us like less rice that's sticky. You ever made rice and then it's like, man, it's all clumpy and it's hard to work with? The more you rinse the rice, the better. So we're just going to grab some cold water, put it in the cold water, and we're going to mix it. And as you can see in this water, it's kind of cloudy. The water's cloudy. So go ahead and mix that. And you'll see it even gets cloudier. Then go ahead and strain it. I just use a cover, tilt a little, and drain that water off. Then you got your drained rice. And then I just keep doing this until a lot of that cloudiness is gone. Can you have some? Sure. But the more you get out of there, the less sticky your rice will be. Those starches won't stick so much together. So go ahead, strain that off for the last time. And go ahead and put it on your burner. Now we're going to add the 2 cups of water that we're going to cook it with. Got some rice stuck to the side in here. And now we're just going to put it on high and we're going to bring this rice up to a boil. It's important when you're making rice to have a lid that fits really well. It should be tight and not letting moisture escape. Because the next step of this process is that boiling water or that simmering water, the rice is going to absorb it. And that's why that ratio has got to be correct. If you had a crack here and you're letting off a lot of steam, then there wouldn't be as much water for the rice, and then you'd get rice that was hard or crunchy and not perfectly cooked and soft. So once that's brought up to a boil, we'll go to the next step. All right, so that rice has been going for a little bit. Let's check how it's doing. As you can see, it's just starting to boil on the side there, which is perfect. So you want it to come to almost a rolling boil. The other thing you want to really consider is salt. You have to salt this rice if you really want good flavor. So I like to wait till it's starting to boil so I don't etch my pan or something with the salt sitting on the bottom. Get yourself some real kosher salt. And I just use a couple big pinches for about a cup. Give it a quick stir. Bring the temperature all the way down as low as you can to be a rolling simmer, just a simmer. So super important that the whole next process is simmering the rice. If your pan got too hot and that burner won't relax, just take it off the heat for a minute and let it cool off a little bit. Make sure you're not boiling. Make sure the rice isn't stuck to the bottom, and then leave this shut. So now you're probably wondering, well, how long does it take? Well, it takes as long as that rice takes to absorb all that water. So if you want, set a timer for like 20 minutes and take a quick look at the rice. What you're looking for is that water to be gone, right? And all that rice had absorbed the water. You don't want to be dry in that pan, but you don't want to be having residual water in there. All right, so let's go ahead and check on that rice. As we can see here, almost all the water is gone. There's a little bit left in that bottom, barely. So we want to go just a few more minutes with this. After another minute or so, you can see now it's perfectly fluffy. And it's actually not stuck to each other. It's a little bit loose. There's a tiny little bit of moisture left, but if you keep a lid on this, it'll absorb that. And the only really way to know if it's done is you got to test it. So grab a little bit of that rice. Did the taste come through? Yep, absolutely. I do get a little bit of salt, which is good. It's important to salt it. It's not crunchy, and it's not mush. So that's simple white rice. Easy to make. It's going to be a staple in your kitchen. Make sure you practice with the water to rice ratio, but shoot for 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice to get going. And then once you start building your process, you'll start to get perfect rice. Now, if I was to make, say, a stir fry or fried rice with this, the best way to get that rice to not stick when you're making that rice, or say chicken with rice or something like that, is use it the next day. So after this is cooled and no longer hot, you store it in your fridge, and then the next day it even sticks together less, and that works really good in, say, a fried rice or a dish like that. And the beauty of white rice is now you can combine it with all different seasonings, proteins, and it's just a simple way to add some bulk to a meal.